Hello, everybody. Sorry for the last minute. I am so sorry for the last minute. Um, Welcome in, whoever is here. Welcome in. I just saw it now, honey. I've been um out today. I didn't even know if I was going to go live because yesterday, well, today's my birthday, but yesterday we had a birthday celebration of my daughter's. And then somebody invited me out for breakfast, which turned into brunch, and so yeah, but I just saw it now. Hello, Kylie. Thank you for being here, Donna. Can you resend me the song that you sent me, the intro? Because I can't find it. It's buried in my email. I want to do that slideshow. So listen, I'm sorry for the last minute, but the other reason we're going last minute is, did you hear the news? Did you hear the news? Um, the news is that, well, we're going to talk about it. We're going to watch it right now. The news, thank you, Barb sent me. I don't understand. I don't understand how I can have these visions and I don't understand. So Brad Wong, when Belinda had the searchers from Please Bring Me Home out, they found, whoops, hang on. They found new information or new items farther out that belong to Brad Wong. No, but I need to run this through with you because I don't understand. I don't understand. I had a vision of Brad Wong, right? Which I don't know for sure what that means, other than I had a vision. And I don't get visions that are not relevant. And I'm trying to understand now what this means for the case and what this means for my visions. And so basically, Brenda, we're going to watch the video. Brenda brings Please Bring Me Home out, right? And they did a search and they found a blue blanket, a bath mat, and a towel, some of which belonged to Brad Wong, 6 kilometers away. Did y'all hear that yet? Did y'all hear that yet? Welcome in, YouTuber. Did you hear that yet? That is wild to me. So we're going to watch it. So last night, it came up. I don't know if you heard it yet. You heard it? What do you think? What do you think? Let's watch this because I'm struggling here with the fact that I had a vision, who I described, only to learn that it looked just like Brad. I'm not accusing him. I'm trying to understand what this means for the case. I'm really confused with my visions, because for those of you that have been following me, they have progressed and evolved over time. Hey, Julie B. Hey, YouTuber. Hey, House Music. They've progressed over time. And the names that I gave way back in May are players: Uncle Larry's Barn, Lawrence Getty's The Black Barn, Brad Wong, describing him. Turns out he's a neighbor. Turns out now he was also the one to hear a car going back and forth. The same guy I saw in my vision, slamming through the door saying Malaya owed him money with an invoice. Now, parts of his belongings are found in the forest. Some things that he owned that he's stating were stolen from his property. What do you all think? Tell me, those of you that heard this, we're going to listen to this. What do you think that means for the case? What do you think that means? So we're going to watch Shenanigans, who goes through this entirely. Thank you, Barb, for sending me the video. I'm just so very confused. Hey, Krista, sweetie, nice to see you. I didn't understand your email. What do you think? What do you think? I'm very confused. I don't understand how it's possible. I'm not like I understand that somebody took stuff off Brad Wong's property and planted it, or it was found. I understand that. We're going to listen to this. Brad's confirmed it. It's his. It belongs. Some of the stuff found by Please Bring Me Home were found by Brad, not the RCMP, or by Please Bring Me Home, not the RCMP, belonged to Brad. He confirmed it last night, apparently, on It's a Crime and Shame, or to Sunny, and then in the chat. What I am trying to determine is how could my visions include, does anybody have any idea? Because I would love to brainstorm. Maybe we can get a panel up here so I can better understand how all these players were in my visions in May and June, and we're hearing this stuff now. I don't understand how I could get such accurate intel and be so wrong if I'm wrong. Like, because if I was right, we would see, I think we would have seen arrests by now. I just don't get it. I'm just very confused. But let's listen in. Somebody with the blanket. Okay, because let's listen to what Daniel's saying. Daniel is saying that somebody ripped part of the pink blanket that was Lily's, ripped part of it out of their garbage bag, right? And it was found. Now we're finding somebody took something from Brad's garbage bag. Somebody was running around, apparently from different garbage bags, trying to wrap these kids up. It's very strange. Let's listen in, and if somebody wants to come up with me and brainstorm, let's do it, because I want to figure this out. I want to figure out what the heck is going on. Let's listen to this.
And I tried to put some makeup on, but I'm looking a bit ghosty. It was a big day yesterday with
yeah. Jesus, Murphy, you guys are impatient. I hadn't even pressed start yet. That's why she was frozen. Oh boy. Okay, let me just,
including the RCMP. I'm tired of people keeping quiet, and I am just freaking tired, actually. Good morning to you all. It is 12:37 in Nova Scotia. It's tea time, but I'm drinking coffee.
You sound like me, honey. Let's get at it.
Just say a quick hello to you all.
Okay.
Wolfie, how's it going, bud? Hope you're having a better day. I just was not willing to start this week. They weren't on his property. No, they were on.
Okay.
Heard yet. So last night, I thought to myself, why did someone allegedly take a towel and a shirt from Brad Wong's property on Lansdowne Station, not his house, which we found out, from his burn pit? I'm going to go do some mapping in a second, but I actually am just so upset about all.
Okay. Remember the things that were found that were burned? Remember the clothes that were found that were burned? So yeah, these were not taken from his house, but from his burn pit.
All the crap that I'm just done with it. So Drippy, they weren't on his property. No, they were on his burn pile, which is where the yellow boat is, if you happen to know where that is, and where the oil barrels were. So
okay,
they were taken from there. A bath mat was taken from somewhere else because he said the bath mat does not belong to his family. They were wrapped up like a cocoon or like a little baby. And
yeah, listen to this. It's an hour and a half stream. He confirmed. I just checked. I just went to, before I ran with this. Barb sent me this video from Shenanigans. And yes, it was confirmed. I just heard it out of my own ears from Sunny saying she confirmed. Brad spoke with her and confirmed that what they found, we're going to hear it. It's 5 or 6 kilometers away, outside the RCMP search parameter, I believe. Beyond it, belonged to Brad, but was in his burn pit. Okay, I had a vision of Brad. And the clothes that were also found by the stream were also burned. Okay, it's very curious.
Brought 6 kilometers up the road.
6.
Up Lansdowne Road, heading towards Montreal.
Okay, that's very important. because they only searched a 5.5 kilometer radius. Remember? They only searched 5.5 kilometer radius. And this was found 6 kilometers away. Sorry, I'm not trying to be critical, but we have said here all along that they didn't expand their search parameters far enough out. Six kilometers should be like 16 or something. So 6 kilometers to miles, Donna, it's the opposite. 3.728 miles. 3.728. So they only went 5.5, and this was found 6 kilometers. So I don't know if this information, I would assume Belinda has made sure that this has gone to RCMP. This just came out last night. I'm just learning about it 2 hours ago. I hope this is now with the police.
Road. Now, I did a bit of digging.
Hello, Helen.
And unfortunately, Sunday evenings are not very good for finding out information on different types of websites. So this morning I was up at the crack of shite and ordered the information on who owned the land, on where that blanket was found, where the blanket, the shirt, and the bath mat. So I thought to myself, I wonder who's going to own that land. Is it going to be a Martel? Is it going to be a Mackenzie?
Listen to this.
Is it going to be a Getty's? Is it going to be a Ward? So it turns out, actually, that the land used to be owned by a Gerald McKay Ward, but it's now he's deceased. He passed away in 2013. So it's actually being looked after by Brian Ward, who lives around the corner. I have his address as well.
Brian Ward.
I spent...
The bus driver, Ward's Towing, now owns the land. But she's going to explain it because it's confusing.
A good amount of money finding out who owns what property in that whole area. I know who owns every bit of land now in that whole area. Everyone. Even people that aren't related. So I was a little surprised to find out that Brian Ward owns that land. And I thought to myself, who would want to set up Brad Wong? Why would they take items from his place, add in something else, a bath mat, and wrap it up and place it on land that is being cleared and filled by Brian Ward?
On land that is being cleared and filled by Brian Ward. So they removed clothes from Brad Wong's, and she's going to show us a map, from Brad Wong's fire pit, and items that were from his fire pit, gathered them and drove them 6 kilometers down the road into Ward's Towing. Let me rephrase that. Into the man that owns Ward's Towing, the driver, the bus driver. Remember when we all had I'm saying Ward's Towing. I don't know why, because I remember getting super dizzy when we were looking at Ward's Towing. But the blankets, or the items rather, that were taken from Brad Wong's fire pit were found on land that used to be owned by Brian Ward's dad, that is now under his management care, that is currently being cleared and filled. Yes, Donna. He owns that. The bus driver owns it. So let's just repeat what's just come out last night. Please Bring Me Home was out 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, searching for items. The RCMP only went 5.5 kilometers out. These items were found 2 or 3 weeks ago. I can't remember the exact weekend that Please Bring Me Home were out. I think 2 weekends ago. 6 kilometers. So half a kilometer farther than the RCMP ever made it. No, I know. And on a property that is managed and cared for by the bus driver, Brad Ward, And Ward's Towing was the place we all got sick by when we were online here. The bus driver that would have picked them up in the morning. Okay. And they removed it from his towing place, Brad's place, and brought it, and it ended up at Ward's Towing's land. Brian Ward's deceased dad's land that is being cleared and filled. Hello, Marie Curie. What? You know, that is the one person I never looked at, was the bus driver, because of these visions that I had. Was the vision after the bus driver? I know. Well, I know. And now it's being filled. Hello, Chantel. Yeah. And now it's being filled. Now it's being filled. The land's being cleared and filled. I really hope this has gone to the RCMP, but this is just wild. So let's just say hypothetically, somebody was driving from one end of Lansdowne to the other, like a bus driver on a bus route. Okay. I don't know. I'm just saying. What if somebody was notified, like a bus driver, what if, that the kids were logged out that day and wouldn't be going to school? What if? And you were the bus driver and you knew how many times those kids were outside by themselves. Just what if? And so you're like, it's raining, they're going to be cold, and I'm sick and tired of this. You rip out blankets or things you can warm them up with. I don't know. I'm just talking hypothetical. And you pick them up that morning from there. I don't know. I'm just saying, like, it's not even reasonable, because the other kids on the bus would have seen it and talked about it and seen them get on the bus. It's just, hey, Barb, thank you, honey. Thank you for sending me this video. And thank you for the birthday wish. Thank you. Barb, what do you think? Like, I'm trying to wrap my head around. I want to listen to this video clearly. I am just been overwhelmed with discouragement, because I don't think you can have the visions that I did and them not have any relevance, to find out that people, places, and names are coming out months later for information that I didn't have. But how does it fit together is what I'm now trying to figure out. Because I also had a vision of Brad Wong. And now we're finding out that something was taken from his property, from his burn pit, and found 6 kilometers away. It's very interesting. Is it related? Is it unrelated? Why? Unless you got them after and drop. Well, that's, yes. Yes. What if, I don't know how long his bus route would be, but I don't know. I mean, none of this makes sense, but let's listen in. This is just crazy. And they weren't even, like, they were in his fire pit. Like, who would know? Okay, let's just talk about this, because Shenanigans is going to show us the property with a fire pit and everything. Who would know there was burnt items that you could use to take from the fire pit too? How would you know that? How would you know? Because it's not the front yard, I'm assuming. The front yard, it depends. It's all over the place. Some kids start at 7:30. We've got staggered. It really depends. Some as late as 9. But I mean, let's listen in, because this is just wild for me. If anybody wants to come up on panel and talk this out with me, let me know. I'm just trying to think of how this comes into play with all the players now. And I'm so confused about the fact that I knew there was an involvement with Brad Wong some way, shape, or form, or I wouldn't have said it. I wouldn't have had the vision. But how it's all coming in together is just wild. I don't understand how it all fits together yet. I just don't.
So,
Okay,
anybody have
honey.
any ideas on why that would happen? And let's back up Brian obviously is the bus driver for Lily and Jack. He was seen on the news. I'm not saying he is in any way responsible for the disappearance of Lily and Jack. I'm just saying that he is responsible for the land in which these items were found. Curious? I was expecting to see it belong to a Mackenzie since they own pretty much every bit of land around there. Yes, Salty, that is the land being filled with gravel. So I know it being a small community, everybody knows everybody. And there was a friend out there, Kent Corbett, who said back in the day, Brian Ward's a good man and he wouldn't have anything to do with this and that he knew him from the tow truck industry. Yes, Drippy, the bus driver owns and manages the land that Brad Wong's stuff that was removed from Brad Wong's property and relocated, wrapped up ever so nicely, and found on an embankment. And I cannot figure out for the life of me how a property 6 kilometers away that had a pile of clothes that weren't being able to be donated because they were stained or crap, holes, whatever, would have been taken from Brad Wong's property and brought 6 kilometers up the road, found in an embankment in some gravel on a property owned by the bus driver. I can't figure it out. 6 kilometers. Are we going to say a bear got into it this time? Or how are we going to figure this out? There's only yes. And to be found by the paternal grandmother. Novas. Was there any flooding in between the time Brad put them on the property to the time they were found? I don't know. People go to places they're familiar with. Whoever put it there is familiar with who Brian is. Absolutely. Absolutely. So someone's either trying to frame him or they're trying to frame Brad Wong. And we all know.
Or one of them's involved. Right? But I mean, I don't think Ward would be involved because would you be... Okay, let's think about this. If you're Brian Ward, are you going to take evidence to your father's property? So YouTuber, I don't know if you're coming in late. I'm going to fix my hair in a second here. This is when Belinda Gray. So she's talking about the paternal grandmother being Belinda Gray. So the police did not find it. The police searched 5.5 kilometers out. I've said from the beginning, I thought they should have expanded their search wider because to me, and this is not a criticism, because after hearing Jason on Dylan's case, I think they responded much better and much quicker here with Jack and Lily. But to me, they still came to start the search way later, hours and hours later. Those kids absolutely could have gone farther than 5 kilometers, 5.5 kilometers. So this was validated by Sonny on It's a Crime and Shame and by Brad himself, according to Sonny, of a bath mat. But you know what? This was last night, and Belinda said, I'm going to email you these exact picture. So the RCMP probably don't even have this yet, unless it was sent today. But Brad Wong confirmed that what Belinda's searchers found, please bring me home, the items they found, Brad Wong confirmed belonged to him. So my question, how do items from Brad Wong's house here get 6 kilometers down the road? And that be so everybody's entitled to their theory. Shenanigans is like, who's trying to set up Brad or Ward? Well, Ward's not setting himself up. You know what I'm saying? But then it's just so weird. But I also see her point, like, but they came from Brad's. So it's very strange. Now add into what Daniel said, that the pink blanket, half of which was in the garbage bag, half of which was found on a tree, was taken from their garbage. Was that the plan? I don't know. Was that the plan, to rip things out from garbage to make it look like somebody was ripping through garbage and fire pits? But the real thing that I'm thinking is, who would have known there were items in Brad Wong's fire pit other than Brad Wong? Who would have known? Let's just go and see where the fire pit is, because I would think, and I would hope it's behind the house, but maybe it's in front of the house, and so somebody did know.
All the speculation. No, it wasn't near a river. I'm going to bring up the maps. We're going to do a little walkies. Because
fix my hair. Hang on.
I'm heading up. I'm heading up there. I got some sources up there, and I'm on a freaking mission. And Durwood, if you're watching, I saw you last night. I saw your comments last night. I saw you calling the RCMP stupid and that they don't care again. And maybe you think that, but I can tell you that everyone here, we're not stupid and we care. So yes, I'm going up to talk to some sources later on this afternoon. I'm leaving in about an hour.
Okay, no worries.
I will not be back until tomorrow. And tomorrow night, I will be doing another live with whatever I find out. But yeah, I'm just actually really annoyed, really upset. Oh, I know. I've got all-wheel drive. I got a great winter vehicle. And I won't be going to Lansdowne Station. I'm meeting in a safe place, so don't worry. I would never go to Lansdowne Station on my own.
I think so
because
too. I don't
they're
think
all a bunch of liars.
I
And
don't
if they're
think
willing to lie about 2 missing children.
exactly. I wouldn't go search by myself there either anymore. I think given what happened to the searchers out there, I wouldn't go either. Yeah, so tell me, if you see this and you saw this last night and you're hearing it, what do you think is going on here with these Brad Wong's blue items being found at the bus drivers? Sorry, something just fell. That's 2 items today. My dad's trying to talk to me. 2 items just falling on their own in my house randomly. So many people are involved in this case, in my opinion. Some must be trying to introduce false narratives according to how the case is being handled. Okay. That's a great point. I think we would need to know when Brad Wong's was burning those items, because that's a great point. Let's just say you're Daniel. Let's just hypothetically, you're Daniel and you planted the pink blanket. Hypothetically, or you're Malaya and you planted the pink blanket, Lily's blanket. Would you want to substantiate that somebody was ripping clothes and items from someone's garbage? Would you want to substantiate that? And so maybe plant that months later for please bring me home. I mean, that could be plausible too, right? That could totally be plausible. What was what, honey Marie? What was what? I'm going to play it some more.
They're willing to do anything. In my opinion, somebody in that area is lying. I think multiple people are lying.
So that's what I'm wondering. Was this another plant later to make the first plant look like, see, it wasn't just our garbage that something was ripped from. Brad Wong's had something ripped from his property too. Or when was it taken? I mean, Brad would have to answer that if you trust Brad.
I think they're absolutely. The one thing I do agree with Chrissy Travers is there is a
misinformation
campaign going on.
You heard it too, Marie Curie? Yeah. So you heard it too? Yeah. 2 of the 3 items were Brad's, but the bath mat isn't Brad's. The bath mat might be key in this. Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's a great point. It's just the whole thing is so bizarro. Yeah, I know. My dad must be here today. It's my birthday, and I got taken out to breakfast, which ended up being a brunch. And Bridget and I, it's my son-in-law's mother. We're sitting at the table, and my phone, it was loud. I know. So we were sitting at the table. My phone was on the table. My hands were on my lap, and my phone was this far from the, thank you, Donna, thank you. My phone was this far from the edge of the table, and my hands were on my lap, and Bridget and I are talking, and all of a sudden my phone fell on the floor. We were both like, what the TF? Like, my hands weren't anywhere near it. It was the strangest thing. Okay, let's listen some more. I just don't get it.
Absolutely. There is
Thank you,
many people
everybody.
out there
Thank you.
trying to point everyone in the wrong direction
Thank
of where
you,
these kids are.
everybody.
And honestly, for a second, I thought if Malaya is hiding the kids, no effing wonder. Look at this BS. Look at this BS.
Thank
Look
you,
at these people.
everybody.
Look at
Thank
the
you.
absolute crap that is coming out. I'm beside myself with how ridiculous it is.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
And yes, the whole family all live around there. They all own the property around there. Everybody has known each other
Thank you,
from
Jerry
way
Lynn.
back,
Thank you,
decades and
everybody. Yeah,
decades.
thank you.
And they're all covering each other's asses and pointing the fingers at every direction so that they muddy the waters. And you know what? For kids that apparently walked away, Daniel certainly made it seem like they didn't, which is the reason why we're all out here. Yeah. Silence.
And that's the other thing. Okay, that's the other thing that I find very, very interesting. The silence from the Daniel camp suddenly is gone. Like it's almost, that it's saying the silence is deafening.
That is coming out is bull. Bull. And Durwood, I still don't understand how you're walking the streets able to freaking call the RCMP incompetent freaking clowns. You are the incompetent clown. For someone who doesn't believe in psychics and tarot cards, you were on there last night. You were on, what was it? 11/11? Commenting? Wondering what exactly, I wonder. I wonder what you're wondering, Durwood. I'm hoping you'll come on since you're bored again. Since you were asked last night, what are you doing in that chat? You were asked, why are you in this chat if you don't believe in tarot or psychics? And he said, I'm bored. Well, you know what? If you're bored, get off your friggin' arse and go and look for the kids. There's an idea. I'm actually fed up with all of them. I'm fed up with all of them. Why would he be in a chat room for tarot cards? Somebody said he's trying to get his next angle. Yeet. So he can go down to the Tim Hortons in Westville and tell all his buddies about where the kids are now, about the guy named Daniel that he didn't know. Full of shit. And you can't pull the wool over everyone else's eyes. We're used to hearing dribble drabble come out of people's mouths. If he wants the reward money, get off your arse and go and look for the kids. You've been saying now for 6 months.
You know where they are.
You believe that they're on. That Malaya's first, who was it? Let's see who it was. First, it was Malaya brought them out to the end of the road. Then it was Cindy. Then it was Haley. Then it was Hayden. Then it was Cheryl and Haley. Then it was, who else was it? Then it was, oh yes, the native CPS came into the trailer and took the children because they couldn't reach the coat, Jack's coat. Stellar Tim Hortons. Yes, sorry. Thank you, Nova. Thank you. Hi, Daphne's. If you want to come up, let me know, but I'm only here for a short time because I'm just done with the games. I'm done with the games. Yes, Wolfie, we're all the liars. We're all the idiots. Durwood took great pleasure coming into chat and calling me entitled and an idiot. I don't need the reward money, and I don't want the reward money. I want the children found. And I'm sick of the games. Sick of the games.
Hey, guys. Hope, honey.
Absolutely. It's ridiculous.
No worries,
how many
honey.
more profiles are you going to
Thank you, everybody. Thank
Toadstool, Tiger Girl. What's the other one, Wolfie? And if you think that the RCMP don't know all your bullshit, if we know it, they know.
I like her because she's like me. She's going to say it straight.
Oh, that's not just to Durwood.
So if you're just coming in now, everybody, we're going to go through. Thank you for subbing up to Shenanigans because it's a new channel. She's been guesting on Charmaine's channel, who used to be the mod for It's a Crime and Shame. It's so much to keep track of. Brad Wong confirmed last night that the Please Bring Me Home searchers that Belinda brought out found items on the Ward's Towing's dad. I think it's, what is his name? Brad Ward. There's two Brads, I guess. His dad's passed away, but he's in control of his dad's property or managing it. He must own it. Shenanigans Durwood is a psychic channel yesterday. He's never been there before. Yeah, exactly. Well, he came to ours, remember? And I had to block him. But yeah, Brian Ward, thank you. God, Donna, thank you. So Brian Ward's property, on Brian Ward's property, the Please Bring Me Home searchers found articles of clothing on the property that is being cleared and filled that belonged to Brad Wong, that were taken from his fire pit that Brad Wong has validated. Thanks, Donna, honey. Yeah, it's just make it make sense now.
To all of
Like,
you
my mind
game
is,
playing bastards.
I don't understand.
Horse gone wild.
I just don't understand how I'm trying to understand how I've had these people in my visions I've been talking about for so long before I even knew their names become relevant to this case. Brad Wong's the one that heard the car going back and forth. I don't understand, and yet we still don't have a resolution. Obviously, I have the visions that are pieces of the puzzle, but I don't know that I've properly assembled the puzzle pieces. Do you know what I'm saying? Because I don't get it. This is like, we would see results by now. I would have thought we would have seen an arrest, or the
So
kids,
I'm going to do a little recap before I go on the map.
or the kids being found.
But
Thank you, Donna. Thank you, honey.
like a truck load of gravel, there's
Thank
gold
you.
buried inside. Daniel Martel, quote, "Yep, RCMP, get over to that land, get a dog, and give it a sniff." That's not being rude. I'm not trying to be condescending. I'm saying weird. I'm not a big fan of coincidence.
Donna.
But all of these people think there's.
Thank you, Donna. Thank you, honey. You're so sweet. Thank you, Donna. Donna, thank you. So if you get a membership, that's YouTube decides who to give it to. So just thank Donna, please. Thank you again, Donna.
Smarter than you and your team and your cyber units and the OPP involved, the major crime unit in New Brunswick. It's all
it's wild.
A load of shite. Sure, Nova, let me send you a link. And I'm going to bring up my map because
at this rate, because there's so many people intermingled, like Brad's stuff found on Ward's property. Let's just say they search Ward's property and the kids are buried there. Is it Ward or Brad? And at this point, they're going to need to have DNA evidence to tie to somebody to this case. It's like, yeah.
I need someone to calm me down. I'm mad. It's 7 months and all these people are playing friggin' bullshit games when 2 kids are missing. And again, for a minute, I was like, if Malaya is hiding the kids, no friggin' wonder these hillbilly assholes are playing games with the RCMP over children. I'm sorry. I'm not monetized, so I don't actually care. Give me a second. I've got to send Nova a link. Daphne's, yes. Get them to hit me up. I will personally help finance them coming here because I'm done with this shit. Done with it. Everybody's sending me messages now. Hang on. Come in and visit. Start saying Brad Wong's dogs killed the children again. Maybe Ron Mexico is the one that put the blanket there. Hang on.
Shoot, I'm muted. Let me recap it for you, okay? And then I'm going to stop recapping. Basically, it was confirmed last night, okay? It was confirmed, My Baby's Army, last night, that when Belinda asked, please bring me home to go and do their search that they did a couple of weekends ago, they found items on the bus driver's property, Brian Ward's dad's property, 6 kilometers away, that belonged to Brad Wong. Okay, so let me repeat. Brad Wong was in the chat last night on It's Crime and Shame with Sunny, as was Belinda Gray. last night on Sunny's live, I validated and watched it just before I went live. Sunny says, yeah, the bus driver's property hope. So I'm glad I'm repeating it. Sunny says that Brad confirmed that there were 3 blue, a t-shirt, a towel, and a bath mat were all blue. And Brad confirmed 2 of the 3 items were stolen off his property in a fire pit where he was burning clothes. And they were found by Please Bring Me Home 2 weekends ago on the bus driver's late father's property, 6 kilometers down the road. So in other words, somebody took them from Brad Wong's fire pit and drove them 6 kilometers down Lansdowne on an empty property that's being cleared and filled, that used to be owned by Brian Ward, the bus driver's dad, and is now owned or property managed, must be owned because of how estate works, by Brian Ward himself, the bus driver. Who planted that there? Or, I mean, I can't imagine Brian Ward set himself up. So it's absolutely wild. It's absolutely wild. And as of last night, the RCMP were not aware of this because Belinda was saying, let me send you a picture of these items directly and make sure that you are for sure validating the correct items, which leaves me to believe, well, I guess Please Bring Me Home would have brought them into the RCMP unless they did what they did. Remember when the Please Bring Me Home did his live on Facebook after they searched, and he said, he showed us a picture of burnt clothing. Remember? And yeah, exactly. Exactly. Like, how does that just happen? How does that just happen? But remember, they were texting Malaya, who said those don't belong to the kids. And they didn't take DNA. And those clothes were by the river. Let's just say, for argument's sake, halfway between Brad's and where they were found, the items of question at Brad Wong's property came from a fire pit. Let's just say where these other, on the river where those other burnt clothes were found, that would have been halfway between the two. The other thing that blows my brains is it's 6 kilometers down the road. The RCMP did a search parameter of 5.5 kilometers. Like, oh my God, are these items that someone's seen on Google and asked Daniel to go get them and Daniel wouldn't? This was before the Please Bring Me Home search. When the search happened, Belinda went to find them. I don't know what you mean here. Something Wong, they're friends for sure. Well, this is just it. Like, if you've been here for a while, you know that I've had visions and I've talked about Brad Wong, and now he's like got stuff he's validating or showing up down the property down the road. Or did Daniel, in his infinite wisdom, knowing there was another search coming, decide he would try to substantiate his blanket plantings theory that somebody ripped Lily's pink blanket outside of their garbage bag at the end of the road, ripped it in half of it had ended up on the tree and the other half stayed in the garbage? Was this another way for Daniel to say, yeah, see, some crazy person was running around the properties and ripping things from properties? Is it that? Or is it part of the case? Is it an afterthought to cover up something by Daniel or Malaya or whoever in the Martel family is responsible? Or was this planted before and the RCMP just missed it? What do you think? Tell me what you think, and we're going to listen to this.
I know Daphne's case files. I know. Daniel thought Malaya would stay because her children were missing. But her mom was like, get your ass out of this shit show and come home with me. What the heck is going on here? That's what happened. Mm-hmm. And Daniel was like, oh my God, Cindy's such a...
Well, this is it.
Saying that...
Okay. And that's the other thing. I don't know. I mean, I'm a country bumpkin. I don't know anybody that burns clothes. I don't know. It's just weirdo.
They didn't get along. Maybe they didn't get along 100%, but you know what? They spoke multiple times every single day.
I know.
I wonder why her mom felt so compelled to call every single day, multiple times.
I know, Sammy.
I'm going to go with she was concerned for her well-being. Okay. How am I going to get this link sent to you, Nova? I'm going to have to open up Facebook here. So hang on a second, guys. Well, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to bring up a map and I'm going to put it on the screen for you guys to just have a pre-look at. And I don't want to give you my good map. I'll give you the small map.
It's the whole case is wild. It's just wild. I'm sort of leaning towards this was planted later. I'm leaning towards this was planted later. What are y'all leaning towards? I don't see your votes yet. I don't see your votes yet. I think it was planted afterwards. I'm just leaning on it because
and I'll go to the allegedly map. All right. All right. Sorry, guys. I'm just blah. Has it been confirmed who Ron Mexico really is? There's been a lot of discussion on who Ron Mexico really is. I can't confirm who it is, but what I can say is that they have been in and out of everyone's chat talking about different places they live. Halifax, outside Halifax, Annapolis Valley. But then yesterday in my chat, they said, not everyone is afraid of me around here like Brad. That wasn't verbatim, but it was pretty much that. And then they go into other chats.
Not everybody is afraid of me around here like Brad. What does that mean? Yeah, so some of you think planted later. I just maybe, but I mean, because I don't know, maybe not. But that's why I want votes. Tell me.
Pretend that they don't.
Tell me what you think, everybody.
Chat
planted later.
And talk about how dangerous Brad Wong's dogs are. Pushing that little.
I don't know, honey. She offered to send me the court docs, remember? And then she didn't. So I don't know. But so let's just say it was later. Why? I think if it was planted later, it's because the police have come out and said that they thought that blanket was planted, right? I can say I want to know the time he burned this shit. I know. So let's just say it was planted. The police have come out and said that they believe that the blanket was planted. Half of it being in the garbage bag at the end of the laneway, Daniel and Malaya's home, where Jack and Lilly lived and were taken from. The other half ripped off and found where the blueprint is by the train tracks in the tree. So if you're Daniel and you're Malaya, or you're someone in that family that knew you planted that blanket, let's just say, to substantiate that theory before Please Bring Me Home comes out, you take other items from someone else's property and plant them so that it doesn't just look like Daniel and Malaya is the only property where the ripped blanket came from. Does that make sense? Because if it only came from their garbage and it was believed by the police to be planted, it certainly looks like somebody in that household planted it. Now, if you find Brad Wong's stuff 6 kilometers away, planted somewhere else, now it starts to look like some crazy person ran around everybody's garbages and fire pits and grabbed items and planted them everywhere. Well, if it was done later, Em had nothing to do with it. She hasn't come near that area since she well, that's true. Definitely doesn't sound like Brad talking at all. So it started to sound like there's a few more people potentially part of this than we can even fathom. I know. No, it belonged to the Rams. The Rams did it. Blame it on the Rams. The Rams did it.
Crap. All right.
God.
Share screen.
You know, being Canadian, it just about busted a gut because we don't have outdoor Rams, especially in the East Coast. They're out west in the Rockies. Just in case you weren't sure of that, Earl.
I'm going to do this. And then I'm going to go onto my Facebook and invite Nova on.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh.
Add stage.
Well, I can tell you the picture that comes to my head when I think of a ram. I think of that picture of Getty's going nuts on Facebook with the ram head on his head. That's what I think. I think satanic rams.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so then they said they lived in Woodside. Yep. 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 They live everywhere. Hi, American Justice. Can't stay. I'm about to head on the road for 8 hours, but wanted to say hi. Hello. Thank you for coming in and saying hello. All right, so this is just a rudimentary map. I'm going to come back to that, but I'm going to see if I can get Nova on here. Give me a second.
Well, did you know?
So
I just Googled. I'll show you really quickly. I just Googled satanic ram head. It's what he was wearing. Look. While we're talking, satanic ram head. Look at the picture. That's the picture. It's associated with Satanism. And just before that, we see Jordan Geddes coming on screaming and losing his shit with some fucking message wearing a satanic ram head mask. So I thought, it was interesting. I thought it was interesting. I was wondering who was really in the bush. Let's just leave it there. Let's go back to this. Just this case is wild. Okay, I'm going to stop talking. Let's listen for a bit.
Invite a guest. I'm going to copy that. And then I'm going to go over here. And I'm going to go to my shenanigans account and message. I'm sorry, if I talk through things, it makes it better.
I hope. While she's doing this, I'm just going to mute it. I hope the RCMP have this latest information. Like, oh my God.
Facebook Messenger. All right.
I hope.
And let me get back to close some of my 100 windows.
It's just wild.
All right.
Wild. Okay.
So we're going to just do, oh, there's Nova. All right. Ellie Jones, hello. Thank you, everyone, for coming in if I haven't said hello yet. Welcome, Nova's Inquest.
Hello.
Hello. There's
How's everyone doing?
That's calming voice of reason. Thanks for coming on. Maybe you can take me down a couple of pegs.
I don't disagree with anything you're saying. Where you were talking about Malaya leaving the property with the baby, and I know a lot of people, criticize her for that, but you have to put that in perspective. That was obviously not a safe place to be for her or the baby, And when you're prompted by the RCMP because they're having a discussion with you and saying to you, and of course they probably couldn't get her away from Daniel because
I shouldn't say I don't know for sure. From my understanding, some of the items from Please Bring Me Home were taken into RCMP and some were confirmed not to belong to the kids. But my point at the time was the burnt items that were confirmed not to belong to the kids could have been stolen or taken and used to wrap around the kids. And now we find other stuff. So they didn't DNA test it from what I understand, some of the stuff. So I don't know about that all being the truth. Well, all this coming out, RCMP needs to an update. It's just getting crazier and crazier. I know. Thank you. Thank you. You're talking Nova? Yeah, Nova is like so calm. Yes. Let's listen in. This is wild.
We know what Daniel's like was, up her butt. That, do you feel safe here?
She also has a Yeti or a really good mic. I have a Yeti. I got to get it connected because it's way better for your voice.
And I kept saying, well, what would prompt them to say that? Now, put that in perspective. If one of your children went missing right now and you've called law enforcement to your home to help you find your child.
Agreed.
And they look at you and say, Shan, do you feel safe here? You'd be like, what the hell? I called you here to help me find my child. Like, there's a reason why they did that. And I know that as a nurse, there's things you look out for and there's reasons that prompt you to start asking those questions. Yeah. And then, you had her sister also have a discussion with her and then her mother having a discussion with her. Okay. And then finally, the light bulb, I always say went off, but I guess it's on. The light bulb went on.
Yeah.
And it wasn't safe. It wasn't. So
I can just imagine what the RCMP witnessed on the days, well, the day and the day after, watching the family fall out, the arguments and the accusations, and Daniel running around like a chicken with his head cut off. They must have began to wonder what the heck is going on here with
Right.
whatever information they already had previous.
Right. And I don't know if you caught it in my live.
Welcome in, Mike. So what we're talking about here today, Mike, is the fact that Brad Wong validated last night when Please Bring Me Home came out, as per Belinda Gray's requests to do the search a couple of weekends ago. They found 3 blue items: a shirt, a towel, and a bath mat. 2 of the 3, which Brad Wong has confirmed belonged to him, and they were removed from his fire pit, from his property, and they ended up 6 kilometers down the road on the bus driver's late father's property, which is currently being cleared and filled. And the RCMP only searched 5.5 kilometers. This was found 6 kilometers down the road. To me, I don't know, it's very interesting. They just say not related, but didn't specify anything. Yes, but Brad Wong's telling us now they were his. 2 of the 3 items were his. So was it planted after the fact? They didn't search that far out. So
I talked about it way back when I finally noticed it, because at first I thought it was the RCMP making an error. And at first I was irritated, thinking, how the heck could they get that date wrong? What is wrong with them? And then I started to, as things started to unfold and we started to become more familiar with the whole situation, then I realized, oh, that's why they did that. And I went back and did a video on it way back. And then on my last video I just did, which I think was 2 weeks ago, I'm still having a hard time with pain, and I have antibiotics for my ear. I'm struggling with my issues with my ear. So I'm not giving up on this. I'm just in kind of a self-care mode right now. But anyways,
You have to do that. You have to look after yourself first.
Yeah,
because
you
you're no good
do.
to anyone. You're no good to anyone if you don't
Oh,
have
yeah.
your strength and your.
And I've already learned that the hard way, believe me. But
Yes.
my disc up in my cervical disc is really causing me some issues, and I don't want to mess around with that one.
No,
But
no.
yeah, but my last video I had touched on it again, where when the children first went missing, when you read what they had put out on that day, they stated that the last day the children had been seen was May 2nd. So at that time, you would take that as what Daniel was saying, right? That they went by that because that's that day. That's the information they're getting that day. So they're going to take that and quickly get it out there. And so it said the 2nd, last seen on May 2nd on Garlic Road. And so, once you got more information, I took that as, well, most of us would. Okay, well, that's when she's popping in and out of the room. Because Janie heard them, but didn't see them, and it said the last time seen. But then the next day, and this is where I couldn't understand, what the heck are
Mike, thank you so much. That is so kind of you. Thank you so much. Thank you. I truly appreciate that. Thank you. She's gonna go through the map and everything
the RCMP doing? Because on the 3rd is the day that they put out the intrusive alert. And that's when it's sent out more widely, and it's your phone's going off, right? And that was the first alert I received, because the alert that was put out the day before didn't go out to everybody. Like, it was really weird. I live here. I did not receive that alert. My husband didn't receive it. Nobody I know of in my family that has a cell phone didn't receive it. So on the 3rd, when what they call the intrusive alert was put out, the date was changed. And it says the last day the children were seen was May 1st. So it changed from the 2nd to May 1st within a 24-hour period. Actually, it was a bit later than a 24-hour period, because it was put out around 5:30. I saved it.
I didn't know that. Did you guys know that the alert time changed on when the kids went missing?
Snapshots
Whoa.
When that came out, because that's when I started going on YouTube and talking about this. So I took a screenshot of it. There was 2 sent out back to back, 5:26, 5:27. They were exactly the same. And And then as information started to come out and Daniel's on the news going, yeah, I saw Lilly popping in and out on the day she went missing. And I was like, what the hell is wrong with the RCMP? Why do they have last seen on May 1st when he's clearly saying they were last seen on May 2nd? But then as things started to unfold, I realized, oh, that's why they're saying that, because basically they decided by the 3rd at around 5:30 p.m. And this is would be slightly after when Malaya left, because Malaya left
Yes.
between 4 and 4:30.
Yeah.
So whatever changed their minds from the day before to now on the 3rd, after Malaya left, whatever conversations took place, information they gained, they put that alert out and changed the date last seen May 1st, which would be when Malaya put them to bed.
Yes.
You know, if that is all true, but that would be the
Mhm.
story she told them.
Mhm.
And then I, you know, my light bulb went on. I was like, oh, they're not even paying attention to what Daniel and Janie's saying now. Their accounts on the 2nd. They're going by, because mind you, this is before the videotape.
I know.
They had
It
that
is.
from
Thank you, my baby's army.
Dollar
Thank you.
Dollarama videotape,
Yeah.
video
Yes.
footage. That
Mhm.
didn't, you know, that didn't come out till a couple of weeks later.
Yeah,
So the
after
only
around the 17th or something like that, it came out.
right on. So the
Yeah.
only information they would have had at that time was from those 3 on the property. So
Mhm.
within, you know, by the next day on the 3rd, they were just brushing off what Janie and Daniel were saying, and now they're saying last seen on May 1st. So that really, you know, it's little things like that you go, what the heck's going on there?
Mhm.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. But among all,
But I mean, is that true? Because they still claim they knew the kids were in the trailer in the morning. They heard them in the trailer in the morning in the house. So how they would change that to May 1st is really interesting.
the other surrounding baloney, you know, it's gotten to the point where I think we're all just absolutely sick of the games, you know, absolutely sick of the games. And it becomes more and more evident every single day that there is games being played by
Right.
multiple,
Okay, let me just fast forward to the blanket piece here. Bear with me.
polite to his people.
Well,
I
that'd
don't
be
know.
just a few minutes down the road, 6 minutes, in fact.
It sure would. It sure would. And who I
It'd
don't
be
know.
just a few minutes down the road. I don't know if she said something about, can you ask Janie or can you ask Daniel? And he goes, oh, I can just run up there right now. I'm just a few minutes down the road. And I was
Yes.
like, what the hell is going on here?
Exactly. Where was he staying? Where was he
Yeah.
staying? Because was he staying at that black house? Maybe.
Well,
I
that'd
don't
be
know.
just a few minutes down the road, 6 minutes, in fact.
It's
Who are they
I
talking
have
about?
many questions about different channels and call them incompetent clowns and that they don't care. And I don't know what kind of experience that he's had with the RCMP, but clearly he hasn't been on the right side of them, I'm thinking, because and how he thought he could go into the RCMP office and start
Well,
demanding.
true, but hang on a second. That's where the story isn't necessarily clear. Correct me if I'm wrong. I could be wrong. You guys know a lot more details generally than I do. Yeah, last seen by Malaya. But Daniel claims that he had the kids still when Malaya went to bed, and they would have been seen last by Daniel, according to Daniel's own account. Does that mean that they're not taking Daniel's credit? Anything he says is credible?
Answers
I don't know.
and being evasive.
No?
And he's the one out there pushing.
Am I wrong about that, Donna? Looked in at them at midnight. Yes, but did he not say Malaya went to bed and he had them outside with him, put them to bed, and then also checked in on them at midnight? I thought that he said that. So I don't know. The stories are confusing. You guys might know better than me, but I thought Daniel said Malaya went to bed. He had the kids with him helping his mom, but maybe I'm wrong on that. Well, but then he says kids are already asleep when he came in Thursday night. Okay. I don't know. It's all deliberately confusing.
That the children are on the reserve. And again, I try to give some credit, thinking that maybe this is because he feels incredibly guilty for not listening to Patty. But then I think to myself, why did he tell all these lies about not knowing the Mackenzies and not knowing Daniel and not knowing and just hearing about it at the Tim Hortons?
Okay, so it is confirmed. it is confirmed, is what you're saying, that Malaya put them to bed last, because I was misunderstanding that.
About some guy named Daniel that apparently killed his kids. You know, he's known Daniel for 20 years. Him and his son were friends in high school, and Daniel used to go there after
Thank
work
you.
at the sawmill, from the sawmill, and hang out there. And one of the quotes was, he was always good and polite to his people.
2
We were
rams.
his people. I have many questions about him, Daniel, Janie, the Mackenzie boys, and anyone that was around that area that morning.
Right. And he's also said how he's known the Mackenzies for years and years and years and years and years.
Yes, but
You
doesn't know Janie, but
Mm.
and was so heavily invested in the CBC interview that he was there in the background.
Right.
You know, I just
When
Darren,
you listen to those tapes, now I was so sure that he said, or not so much tapes, but him on Sonny's show and Dolly's. I was so sure that he had said in one of those about a family home down the street and,
Yep.
right,
He did.
and that something
half
about
a mile, half a kilometer down the road from the sawmill.
exactly.
He did say that. Yes, he
And
did.
then he said something about, I don't know if she said something about, can you ask Janie or can you ask Deanna? And he goes, oh, I can just run up there right now. I'm just a few minutes down the road. And I was
Yes.
like, what the hell is going on here?
Exactly. Where was he staying? Where was he
Yeah.
staying? Because
Oh, so he maybe was at the Black Barn. Okay, I'm going to move it forward. I think it's getting to the
was he
blanket.
staying at that black house? Maybe.
Yeah.
Well,
I
that'd
don't
be
know.
just a few minutes down the road, 6 minutes, in fact.
It sure would. It sure would. And I'm not a big fan of coincidences and the fact that it's owned by a Getty's. And there's a, you know, I do a lot of digging on open source information. You know, anybody who has 2 brain cells can go out there and find a lot of information on who is friends with who and who knows who's commented on who's loved whose picture, all that sort of stuff.
Yes, I do the same.
You know, I am a nosy biatch.
Yeah.
And
I don't know if you noticed the Jowdry name in there.
Absolutely, I did.
Yipper.
I sure did notice the Jowdry on there. And I'll tell you what, it baffles me to no end that there is a witness out there that says that Alvin Mackenzie and Jenna Jowdry were spotted at 10:45 a.m. right where the blanket was found, the planted blanket.
Yeah.
20 minutes, not even after the police arrived. What were they doing there?
Right.
How did they know so quickly? And why does Alvin say he lives in Truro when he lives around the corner on Montreal Road?
Yeah.
All of this deflection and bull crap, I'm just done with it.
And I wonder if Jenna Jowdry lives out there, because the Jowdrys are typically, not that the Jowdry name comes from closer to like the River John area.
Yeah, it's also prominent in the South Shore.
Yeah. Yes. I've seen like Jowdry Road or Jowdry, like it's a common name.
Well, it's an interesting fact.
Not a real common name, but.
No. But I know there's a Jowdry Road up there in River John too, yes.
Yep.
Wouldn't drive down it in the winter though.
No. But I wonder, because she's related to Kent, isn't she?
Yeah, she's apparently Kent's niece. But you know what? The best part about this is that she's listed as a daughter to Logan Mackenzie on her Facebook page for everyone to see.
Well, that she can't be Logan's daughter.
No, exactly, but she says it's her daughter.
Okay, I gotta fast forward here. I thought you were going to the blanket.
I know.
Who also has a tow truck, and people get shot. People have.
You know what?
At night, where it went, and then all of a sudden, his stuff is turning up all over the place before and after searches.
Yeah,
that is interesting.
It is, and when he was saying that, they had a fire, I thought that they were in that area and had a fire, because I know areas out there, because I don't know if you know, I know I told Daphne, I do have family.
Okay, let's just go back and see if we're going to get to the blanket here. Sorry, everybody.
People will believe anything that those kind of people.
The garbage, and somebody's coming onto his property.
Okay. To Sonny Austin, it's a crime and shame for asking that question out loud about those items and the bath mat, because the bath mat, we knew that he had come out and said that those 2 items were his, but when he came out and said the bath mat, the look on Charmaine's face.
Yeah, I kind of expected it. I thought he's going to come back and say, no, that's not, because.
Hang on a second.
He lives down the road. He must
just go do that. and just go camp like, a few miles down the road or whatever because those spots are so beautiful. And I thought that that's when they were saying found in the fire. I thought, oh, they must have went to one of those nice areas out there and camped for a couple of days in a tent and had a fire. I didn't realize it was a fire pit on his property where he's burning the garbage and somebody's coming onto his property and taking it out of the fire pit and shit. Like, holy cow.
Yes, that, and not just that, other items too. Other
Yeah.
items too that were found by Please Bring Me Home in other locations. So it really is. And then
In
right
other
around that time is
locations.
when the story was coming out about Brad Wong's dogs and how the
Oh,
dogs
and
could have
again,
done something.
yes, and nobody would have heard the kids screaming their, like, come on.
Yeah, Harvey McKenzie only lives down the road. He must have, or Wayne and Harvey and Ron and Earl and freaking every other McKenzie under the sun, pretty much. But
Yeah.
let me go to the map here. I'm going to put us onto the side and make the map bigger.
This is wild.
And okay. So did I put, yes, I do have.
Funny Michelle
there.
Harper.
So,
Well, I don't even think the police, as of last night, the police didn't have this, I don't think, because Belinda was still saying, hey, Brad, maybe I should send you a picture, email it directly for you to validate that these are, in fact, your items confirmed. So I don't even know if the RCMP know this yet. That Brad is confirmed.
so yes, thanks
that Brad is confirmed 2 of these 3 items belong to him.
For to Sunny Austin on It's a Crime and Shame for asking that question out loud about
no, I know what you mean
about those items and the bath mat, because the bath mat, we knew that he had come out and said that those 2 items were his, but when he came out and said the bath mat, the look on Charmaine's face.
Yeah, I kind of expected it. I thought he's going to come back and say, no, that's not, because if like it just putting 2 and 2 together that somebody's trying to disguise something, right?
Yes. So I didn't mark this on the map yet, but this is Brad Wong's. I'm going to mark it on this one. But like I said, I've got another map, but this is the one that I'm willing to show because my other one has a lot more information and it's got every neighbor in the neighborhood listed on there. And I'm not about to dox people that have nothing to do with this. So I'm going to just put here Brad's fire pit.
This is just wild.
So just to give you an idea of where his pit is, there is Jack and Lily's trailer. Here is the fire pit. Here's Brad Wong's property where he lives. So they I guess go over there. Okay. So if you want to,
interesting.
So behind,
very good work. You're doing awesome work. I just love your channel.
Thank you. I had some good inspiration. Okay, where are we here?
So the pit, they could have gone into Brad Wong's pit and he wouldn't have seen it, and they could have come in from their house.
I hate when you're trying to go under an underpass and it puts you up on it.
Yeah. See, now it doesn't want to. Oh, here we go. Thank you.
There's his fire pit. Look at it.
So there's his burn pile.
Look at the barrels. Okay.
And his yellow boat.
This is where he basically puts.
Okay. Remember the barrels that came up in the reading I did? I'm just saying.
Yeah, this is where all the crap is that he doesn't want on his property. He brings it to here. So you can see a broken down lawnmower, some drums, probably stacks up scrap metal before it gets picked up, once a year or something like that. So the items were taken from there. And as you can see, there's nothing else around there. There is a neighbor down the road, but no one would see someone going there to take those items because this house here.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry. This house here, it got a tree line hedge in front of it. No one's going to see somebody going into there to take anything.
Yeah. And there's no camera there.
No. And go back to
interesting.
The map, the yellow markings here, that was based on what the DT show and Daniel were discussing initially, which was he believes that the children left the trailer, went down this road, went down Garrett Lock Road, turned onto Lansdowne to the blanket, left the blanket there, and then went this way. And that's where the boot prints were found. And we were talking about this yesterday, and I did mention that there is 100 feet of deep, thick, wooded area between this clearing and where those prints were allegedly found. And I find it very hard to believe that a 6 and a 4-year-old are going to walk through 100 feet of thick brush rather than turn around and go back the way they came. Children just are not likely to walk through deep wooded areas. In my opinion, they will go the path of least resistance.
That is typically
So up
how
here is
it
where,
goes.
yes.
I have
So
training in
here's
that.
where the blue blanket. You do?
Yeah, because it's the same as elderly with dementia, and
Yes. So
I took training in that. It's the very same,
yeah,
and you typically do a straight line distance. They don't do a lot of turning. And if they see something ahead, and
exactly.
unfortunately, I always use a body of water as an example, they will typically, if they see that, then that'll be something they'll focus in on and walk straight towards what they're focused in on.
Yes,
I didn't see a bandana, Sammy, but I have had a vision that I described Brad Wong in, only to learn 5 months later that it was Brad Wong. All three knew it. My timeline was screwy the first hour. Why timeline was screwy in the first hour? Yeah, the whole timeline is a mess for sure.
totally agree. But they are going to go in a straight line. I found it hard to believe that they even turned left where the blanket was, but I
Right.
presumed that was because it looked like a path, and they could have, if they wandered off, they could have thought that was a road,
No,
but
I don't.
it doesn't really look like a road.
I don't. Do you believe these kids walked that far on their own? Does anybody believe they would have walked all the way to where the blanket was found on their own? I don't.
So in kilometers, that's
in the cold, wet diaper, in rainy weather, reportedly days before, wet. I don't think
5.8 kilometers as the crow flies from Brad Wong's fire pit to where the blanket and sweater and bath mat were found. And we'll just do a little peek of what the surrounding area looks like. And also on this map, which I haven't added, just so we're all on the same page, this is where Brian, the bus driver, lives. And also, allegedly, that red dot here in the top corner, that's apparently where Alvin lives.
Okay.
All right, so here is where these items were found.
This is just wild.
This is part of a 7-acre plot that does have some logging rights associated to it. But Belinda told us that this is where the blanket was found, wrapped up. And it was down this embankment here, but further in. So somebody would have had to drive in to here and placed it down the embankment. It wasn't on the ditch here, which you could say somebody just threw out. It was found on the embankment down here.
Yeah.
Where you see these trees and where gravel, etc., has been pushed over, and this area has been cleared. And I'm just going to bring up a picture of that.
I'm going to go back to this and listen to this.
And also on this map, which I haven't added, just so we're all to here, where these items were found. This is part of a 7-acre plot that does have some logging rights associated to it. But Belinda told us that this is where the blanket was found, wrapped up. And it was down this embankment here, but further in. So somebody would have had to drive in to here.
Which garage, Donna?
Placed it down the embankment.
Brad Wong's?
Wasn't on the ditch here.
Words towing? Words garage?
Which you could say somebody just threw out. It was found on the embankment down here.
Yeah.
Where you see these trees and where gravel, etc., has been pushed over, and this area has been cleared. And I'm just going to bring up a picture of that bundle. Just so
looking
we can
for the
see
address.
how nice and pretty it was.
I'll do that after, Donna.
And again, thank you everyone for being in chat. And I'm sorry for my horrible tone, but I am bitter and I am upset and I am angry that this is still going on. And I'm tired of the absolute bull crap that these people are pushing and the narratives that they're pushing. And I want to know where Jack and Lilly are. It's been 7 months and I'm tired of it, as is everyone else, I'm sure, in this chat. So
Yeah.
somebody speak up, somebody open your mouth. This is not about being a rat. This is about 2 children that are missing and a bunch of people that are telling lies.
Yep. It's disgusting.
It is.
And
It's
it does
disgusting.
make you feel angry. I felt like that last night. I'm calmer today, but yeah, I was pretty enraged. It's like, oh, I can't even.
I think to myself, if this is how angry I am and how much I can see through the bullshit, imagine what the RCMP must be thinking. Like, and to say that they don't care over and over again, like, what planet do these people live on? You know,
I
maybe,
know.
Sure, maybe there's a bad RCMP in a bunch. Of course, there's a bad apple in every barrel, so to speak. But you're going to tell me that all these parents, these RCMP men and women who have children at home, are not absolutely pissed off with this scenario? I don't think so.
No, and that's just part of pushing the narrative. And again, it's like you said with the small town.
Well, I'm on Gairloch Road. Let me just show you what where it's towing. I found it on Gairloch Road. What the heck? I'll show you. Where it's towing. Look at the road. So I don't know if it's moved, and that's an old address, because look at it. You can see right there, Gairloch Road. Let me just close the pop-up. Gairloch Road. Words towing. Bunch of backward ass chicken heads. So how many towing and mechanic stows the community 12 houses needed? I don't know, honey. But it used to be called Bert's Towing. And I asked Mike Wilson, well, I didn't even ask. He offered. I said, I think this is now Words Towing. And he said, yes. He confirmed Words Towing was owned by the bus driver for me. So I just Googled Words Towing, but it used to be something else. Do these towing garages actually have anyone on payroll? Good question. Good question. So, I mean, it is down Gairloch Road. I'm going to just type in right now, Words Towing. Pictou, Nova Scotia. The address I get, see, on Google, you get 4531 North South 289 Westville, Nova Scotia. You get Westville. You don't get Gairloch Road. But on Google Maps, you're looking right at it. You're looking right at it. On Google Maps, it says Gairloch Road. So I have no idea. So we're not going to do too much more than that, Donna, because I have no idea. But let's go back to the video. It's just, look at the blanket, okay? This blanket had to be planted after they cleaned that property. I mean, look at it. They have all lied, involved. The mother seems the most. I agree. Bio grandmother tried to take credit for mother's last search after said Ellie didn't want them to search. Oh, no way. Ken, of course, it's a relative. Yeah, I don't know. But this is like this did not get cleaned and brushed up. This was planted after the cleanup, in my opinion.
Property during the search.
But I mean, she's saying, I think I missed her. It's just ridiculousness. It's all, and he's, I mean, the biggest bigot. I'm sorry. But I mean, I did my video on him. It was a one and done because I'm not wasting my time on his foolishness. And that's pretty much what I expressed. Not pretty much, I did. He's a bigot and trying to push some kind of narrative. For what reason? What reason? Why does somebody do that, right? And so the kids are on a reserve, which is just...
Well, I mean, listen, the only reason Durwood, in my opinion, is involved is to stir up the pot and steer the narrative in another direction. Otherwise, I don't understand his incentive. If he so badly wants these kids and he so desperately wants justice and he knows where they are, then bring them effing home.
Disgusting. to be putting that out there. And the RCMP are idiots and bumbled this. It's just a narrative. It's a narrative that you just have to shake your head at and go, okay, just, yeah. Charmaine's there. I wonder if she wants to come up. She's saying, I think I missed something big.
Yes, Charmaine, we are talking about Durwood right now, but I did some research in the wee hours of this morning to find out who owned the land where this blanket was found, and it belongs to Brian Ward, the bus driver.
The land.
So this is, if you guys can all see this on screen.
Just to be clear, that's the land.
This is the blanket.
That's the blanket belongs to Brad Ward rather, found, or Brad Wong, found on Brian Ward's property 6 kilometers away.
/ towel that belonged to Brad Wong's daughter with the shirt inside of it and the bath mat that did not belong to Brad's family. So I'm going to take us off the screen briefly just so I can show it bigger so you can all look at it really carefully and tell me how that.
Well, I agree, because to me, it doesn't make any sense that Malaya had any motive, because she would have never left Meadow out of that motive. But Bio Dad had a motive to get his bio kids out of there after learning the situation, as Daniel would have had motive just as easily to be pissed with Malaya if she was leaving.
Wrapped up ever so beautifully, along with Brad's daughter's shirt and a bath mat with questionable things on it, wrapped like that and put on Brad Ward's property down an embankment, found on the day of the Please Bring Me Home search. And it traveled miraculously 5.08 kilometers as the crow flies.
Oh, I thought she said.
That's what I want to know.
Okay, so she said 6 kilometers earlier. Now she's saying 5.08. That's an important information. That is super important, because we've already declared it planted because it was outside of the RCMP search parameter. But if it's 5.08, then it was within the parameter, which means it's definitely planted, because they would have seen it if they had searched that area.
Yeah. I
Wrapped
know, right?
like a baby. Exactly. Like,
and
wrapped
you
up.
know what? Yeah, exactly. Like when I look at that, every time I look at it, I just hate looking at it because it looks like a child wrapped up in that.
Yeah.
Like,
And
Yeah.
Belinda, the paternal grandmother, finds it.
Yeah.
I mean, Mike, that's a great point, but how long had they not, he'd already not been paying support and lost his job. I don't know what Canadian law does other than it accrues in arrears, but if he doesn't have a job, you can't take blood from a stone. So I don't know. I mean, as a motive, that, or was he also doubly worried about their survival, their safety, and also didn't want to be the father to them? See, I think that motive is possible, but less likely, because he didn't care enough to be even involved in their life. So yeah, I guess you're right. And that I'm kind of agreeing with you that that motive for their safety wouldn't play out, because he didn't care about them all that much, enough to not even keep his rights, parental parent rights. So maybe.
Out of the search area.
Yeah.
Brad Wong's shirt is found off of his property during the search.
I know.
Brad Wong's daughter's bike is found down, and I'm sure a lot of this is just from the storm or whatever, but to me it looks like in my opinion only a consistent campaign
here
to
too
misdirect the investigation.
Here too.
That's what it feels like to me, and I don't want to be one of those rabbit hole going downer people or conspiracy theorists, but what in the F?
Okay, so let's just vote now. Do you think this was missed by the RCMP on the first search, or was this planted later before Please Bring Me Home was coming? And if it was planted later, it had to be Daniel or someone else that planted it to make it look like, because when the police came out and said the blanket was planted, in their opinion, the pink blanket that was ripped out of Daniel Malaya's garbage at the end of the laneway, half of it left in the garbage, the other half stuck to a tree. That makes them look like they planted the blanket. Do we agree on that? Yeah. Do we agree on that? And the RCMP came right out and said planted. So now planted later, see, that's what I'm thinking. That's exactly what I'm thinking, because I'm thinking now to cover the narrative that they planted the blanket to make it look like, well, it wasn't just us that had elements stolen from our garbage or our property. Yes. Yeah, the garbage thief, the garbage thief. Daniel was hollering about things being planted. Well, this is right. My point. So then he knows, please bring me home's coming back. We're going to plant more things so it doesn't just look like we're the ones planting the evidence because it was only taken from our garbage. That's where my mind's going. I thought the mother was going after it again about the government got dropped because of Daniel. It could be wrong. I don't know more, Mike. I definitely can tell you I have less knowledge than most of you here because of the way I follow cases. Yeah, so planted. Look, it was planted. Yeah, but when was it planted? Just before Please Bring Me Home?
Is going
Wild.
on when we have all these people telling all of this bullcrap out there. I feel like they are so used to people believing the bullshit that they spew that they're didn't realize that all of us would be going, what the heck? And starting to dig deeper. I am struggling largely with this. And somebody in that neighborhood knows what the heck's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
In my opinion.
I feel the same way, in my opinion.
And you know what?
Exactly, Charmaine. Who is doing it? Yeah.
Exactly. Who would have the most invested interest or the most skin in the game to frame Brad? It would be the person who was responsible for actually making.
See, I don't think this is an attempt to frame Brad. Do you guys think? Looks like Manisha. Yeah, exactly. Do you guys think this was an attempt to frame Brad? I don't, because it was on Ward's property. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. I just don't agree with her on this because it was on Ward's property. I think it's more of a defense from Daniel, aka potentially, in my opinion, assuming he planted the blanket, ripped half of it out from the garbage, or someone else in the family did. Then it makes it look like, see, somebody else was a garbage thief. It wasn't just our garbage, and it was strewn all over the place. I don't know. And then you have the clothes that were found by the creek, Lansdowne Lake, the river flowing into it, that were burnt, that Please Bring Me Home found.
The
What
children
the hell?
disappeared, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And who would want to put it on Brian's land? And who would know to go up there to place it there?
And oh, sorry.
No, that's okay. And why does it look like it just came out of a bag yesterday?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. How long was that sitting somewhere else?
Yeah, I want to know. One of the questions we didn't get to the bottom of yesterday on Sunny's, and it was late, and that's why I'm tired and grumpy today, because I was up so late and then up so early this morning because I wanted to know who owned that land, and I expected it to be a Mackenzie or a Martel or something, but no. And it just, instead of getting more answers, we just get more questions as to why the hell is this happening and who is doing this and who has the most skin in the game to be doing this. And I have my speculations.
Yeah, definitely. You know, and the strange thing is, one of the last messages that Daniel was sending to Sunny, well, probably throughout the message, he kept saying somebody's trying to frame him. So, well, we've all been hearing that. The blanket was planted, they're trying to frame him.
Really? No.
He's been saying to Sunny, they're trying to frame me. I don't know if he said it to Shar too, but and here you have someone claiming that, and nothing that's being done is really showing that.
No, I've never heard that. Never once. Wild.
It's made up stuff. Well, I don't know if it's right to call it made up, but it's, we know that Haley did not plant that blanket. And the story being told about it even being ripped out of the garbage bag, blah, blah, blah. And then come to find out it was actually on the back doorstep as Cheryl originally had stated. So that was all just silliness.
If somebody has a picture of that, I would love to see that, because I been hearing that multiple times that
That there's a
blanket.
picture, yeah.
Yes.
I don't know if there would be a picture though, because by that time I think it would have been gone off of there.
Mhm.
But I know people have been saying that. But
isn't it
it's just
candy?
funny how the person claiming that they're being,
Mhm.
framed, and then now it's starting to become very clear that somebody's doing something to somebody else to make it look.
Wasn't it on May
Yeah.
8th that Daniel had come out and said Malaya's gonna blame me for this so
Mhm.
that she doesn't get in trouble?
In an interview, yeah. Or
Yeah.
said it to. I don't know if they actually put it in the interview or I can't remember, but he said it to the individual being being interviewed by. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I am just going to throw it out there that I think Daniel started to get rattled towards the in the
Who's
last month. He's
that?
gone awfully quiet, and Janie not being able to complete the.
Who are you talking about? Mallory. Who's Mallory? Who's Mallory? No way. Oh, no way. I had no idea. That's very interesting. No idea. Interesting.
Polygraph and
Mhm.
was some alarm bells. Justin Martel, where the heck are you? Why are you not sticking up for your brother? I don't hear absolutely anything from him either. The only people you hear from or heard from were Logan and Earl occasionally with his Facebook if he doesn't delete the message, Daniel and Janie. And now we're hearing that there was Alvin and Jenna right where the blanket was found, not this blanket, the planted blanket at 10:45 a.m. I would like to know who Chrissy's source is, who was heading down towards the fishing area, because if you recall during dispatch, there was somebody that said, "Oh, they were just two people going fishing."
Right. Yep. It
So,
did.
and they were saying that two children were missing. They found that pink shirt that looked like it had been there for quite a while, but
Right. And they
a
said
whole lot
that
of
right over the
coincidences.
radio that they didn't think it had anything to do with it because it looked like it was. I thought it was probably all torn, like the way they worded it. I thought it was just ratty looking, right? That it had been out there so long. But I think what they mean now is the fact that it's so sun bleached was because they had mentioned how it looked like it had been out in the elements for too long to have anything to do with it. And it's, I guess that what they were talking about was the fact that it's sun bleached. By the way, I don't know if you caught Justin's live last night. I fell asleep. I didn't get to see it all. But do you
Left
know
his to go over
Janie?
to Sunny's,
Do you know?
unfortunately.
Oh, do you know that Janie is not even diagnosed with a heart condition?
That's what I was told, that somehow that it came out from the polygraph examiner.
And they
That
told her you might want to go see your doctor. You could have a heart condition.
uh-huh. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Wonder if she
that
would
was always a big question with me, with her, because I always said, out of those three, I believe
Thank
if
you.
any one of them were
Thank
going to
you.
be able to beat a polygraph through telling lies, and this is all speculation, guys, and in my opinion, is
everything
Daniel.
on this channel is, just for the
Yeah.
record. Don't sue me. It's all speculation. We're just
Yeah.
having a chat.
Okay, I'm going to stop it there because that's really all I wanted to talk about. But I really wanted to hear what your guys' thoughts were about this blanket. Can we not call people who are mentally sick and or dying names? I don't know what that means, but no, let's be nice to everybody. But yeah. I mean, this case is just crazy, and I hope the RCMP have this latest information about the blanket. Who do you think? Okay, so you've said planted. Tell me who you think planted it and why. If it was planted, who planted it and why? No, I get that, honey. I don't know what you mean though. Like, who do you think planted it and why? No, I don't know what you mean. Yeah, no. These terminally ills. Okay, got it. I see what you're all saying. Who do you think planted the blanket and why? To divert attention, because if you're the bus driver, you're not putting it on your dad's property that you would now own, that you're clearing. It literally had to be planted after the fact. Who would be motivated to plant the blanket? Anybody want to venture a guess before we end it? Do all the notification things, because I will be back on. I'm just really in the rabbit hole of writing. I have a deadline. Dan or Jane. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Yeah. 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 Stay tuned. I think I'm in the rabbit hole of writing, but I will get into doing more than one stream hopefully soon. Because I wouldn't mind doing Sebastian at one time of the day and then Jack and Lily at another time in the day. Daniel Jr. Durwood. Yeah. Well, it was not proven. Let's just say that PI will dox everyone, but won't say who hired her, correct? No, Belinda hired her. Belinda hired the PI. Belinda's lawyer, her attorney, hired the PI, apparently. Daniel, 100% retaliation. Daniel and Brad were discrediting each other since Brad came into the case. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Hope. So I'm going to call it now. I will be back live. Check it out for tomorrow or whatnot. I just want to get a good part of my book done because I'm launching in 10 days. So just stay tuned. Yeah, no, it's okay, honey. We're going. Stay tuned. Do all the notification bells so you know when I'm up. It'll probably be tomorrow. But once I get this book done, I'm going to go 2 lives a day to do Sebastian and Jack and Lily. Okay. So thank you everybody for being here. We will be likely back tomorrow. Blank belong to you and go from there. Let's just see you on the blanket. And yeah, well, Brad's already, yes, Barb, I am, honey. Yes, I am. Well, Brad's already confirmed, Salty, that he owns everything but the bat mat. It was his daughter's blanket and his t-shirt. Thank you, Salty. But not his bath mat. So I think somebody put in the chat, whoever owned that bath mat is key because, maybe it came from their property. Yeah, stay safe and warm, everybody. So yeah, check out on the notifications. Thank you for everybody for being here. I will likely be live tomorrow. And once, like I said, when I'm done, the boss planted the blanket, my guess. The boss. Who's the boss? Durwood? Who's the boss? That's what I was missing. Yeah, no worries. No worries. Yeah, no worries. Trash bag peeping Tom now. Yeah, exactly. So I'll be in tomorrow. I don't know what time, but like I said, because right now I'm just trying to run. Finally break. Oh, Krista, sweetie, as we're leaving, I'm so sorry. But you got to go back and listen to this because did you hear what we were saying? Oh, thank you, honey. Thank you. 57 years old today. My kids were, because my first winter without my dad, I've been struggling a little lately. So my kids have been trying to make me feel extra special. So my grandsons decorated the cake my daughter made because I'm celiac, gluten-free, and we had my favorite dinner. It was payback. Yeah. To Brad from Daniel. Yeah, could be. Yeah. Yeah, and my grandson's 4 and he came over and sat on me and sang happy birthday to me quietly and we rocked and just a lot of fun. We went and got my tree and it was just, yeah, it was a great day. So thank you. Yeah, you're probably right, Mike. Yeah. Okay, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow. I don't know what time. I'm going to focusing on writing for the rest of the night. See how I feel tomorrow. Oh, thank you, Michelle Harper. Thank you, honey. I appreciate it. Thank you, honey. You did? Okay. Thank you. Okay. You're just getting in now. Thank you. I did. We did yesterday. Went up to my daughter's and then my son-in-law's mother, Bridget, who I've known since before my son-in-law and daughter were married, who's been a friend, and her sister's been a good friend of mine for years, 23 years. Took me for breakfast brunch today. So I've been blessed. And then my daughter was going to come over on her lunch. She's working from home today and go for a walk. And I said, Jess, you've done enough, honey. It's because they know I'm having a hard time with my dad and stuff right now. So yeah. So thank you, everybody. 57 today. Thank you, everybody. Love and light. Everybody hug your kids, your grandkids, the people that you love. Yes, I know Krista, but I wasn't sure if you were working and missed part of it because you were too busy working, honey. That's all. Okay, everybody. Thank you. We'll see y'all tomorrow. Love and light. Do the YouTube thing so you know when. Bye. Bye, everybody.